Red side rumble.
Max, stop focusing on the draft when it's clear. It was all about the tempo vibes.
Well, it was also clear. You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
It was very clear in that last game. And yeah, it probably had nothing to do with him playing Gwen.
Yeah.
An unanswerable Gwen in that game. That probably had nothing to do with it. Let's have a look at what happens here, though, as DK move over to the blue side. And maybe this will help them find something a little bit better to play around. Still, a bunch of stuff was used up in that last draft. I felt like that was a pretty high priority draft. I think this time around, Yunara is going to be much higher priority. Didn't see her at all in that last game. I'm just feeling it now. I feel like the orb charge lady is just going to be unleashed.
Potentially. I will say, though, a lot of junglers were banned, so still available. But it looks like we're following a similar route with them being... Yeah.
That's 4.
This is
that
even
enough?
more than we had banned in the first rotation last time. Because last time we had Pantheon, Wukong, Poppy. This time we had Pantheon, Wukong, Poppy, and Vi. So we're just amping it up at this point. So here was me thinking, you know, maybe we'll get like some high priority jungles being let through. No. These guys hate junglers, apparently.
Yeah, they just definitely don't want either team to be playing them.
Which, in fairness, Lucid and Raptor both had some pretty fantastic performances. The Orianna being taken away, maybe a look towards the Nocturne Orianna as a combo.
Yeah, we can look at that as a Nocturne ban.
Yeah, Talia still open and available as a standout. And I know, obviously, the Azir being gone, which is often picked into, but I still think Talia being available might be a pretty high priority pick. Aurora also open.
Yep.
Talia's going to get taken away.
All right, so no Talia, no Orianna. As far as control mages are concerned in that mid lane, you know, there is still Victor or something like that, but it feels like a lot more fringe when that is concerned. As Yunara just going to be locked in. I knew it. I could feel it, man.
Yeah, the
I don't know.
Yunara first pick vibes.
Yeah.
Kind of there. We've kind of seen it. And a lot of the picks that I feel like are really good at shutting it down, I think having very reliable CC is really good into Yunara. Having like your Vi's or your Wukongs where once you're on top of her, she's locked in place is great. That's not Viego.
It's
not really Trundle either, but Trundle I do think
Trundle
is a good jungle pick with what's obviously been taken off the card, so
you
value
also,
there.
It gives you the ability to pick something like a Scion as well, which could be, you know, something that could be annoying for Yunara to deal with.
Struggle a bit to shred through tanks. I will say, though, I think if you're playing Trundle, maybe look for a composition that can outrange her a bit. The Kai'Sa can work if you are looking to target the Yunara, land a bit of CC, blow her up. It's an effective strategy. We'll have to see what the rest of the composition brings together there.
Yep, I think if BNK can actually snowball this game at all, then the Kai'Sa can really do some work. As Rise going to be the consideration here for Showmaker.
Honestly, I think Rise value is big. I honestly think Rise would have been good into Yunara, you know, that route.
That's what they were considering, right? But instead, the Trundle and the Kai'Sa do come in. Didn't need to take away the Kai'Sa.
You think about that, they could have maybe taken it, but opting away, so Rise will be given over. You know what I know? Is I know that, like, Brendan would be so upset if they just picked Cassiopeia into it. He's been so against that matchup every time it's happened, but we'll see.
It has recently actually won.
I know, but
and that probably makes him even more mad. I think it's like 3-3 right now as far as the matchup is concerned.
I will say into what Dplus has, a lot of short range, you know, a lot of dashy champions and then a Rise. So I could see them wanting to pick it here specifically. We'll see if they go in that direction.
Ooh,
instead, looking towards the Croc right now, into the Ambessa, wanting to punish that matchup. And in fairness, Clay had a pretty fantastic game 1, so I think giving him a good matchup might go a long way. It is Shiwu's Ambessa as well.
Yep.
He's been pretty notorious on this champion.
Was banned away in the first game. This time around, going to slip through. Did mean that it was going to be more difficult for Clear to pick a tank or something like that if they wanted to pair that alongside the Trundle, because Ambessa does do decently well into tanks. So the Renekton, it was the first champion considered decent into Ambessa when she was first released. Since then, I feel like Ambessa's taken a few nerfs.
Yeah.
And so is Renekton, to be fair. But it does feel like after that buff to his dominance, or Dominus, he's feeling a bunch better. But now, next round of bans, Nocturne going to be taken away here. Despite the Orianna being banned, we're still going to be getting rid of it.
Still trying to remove those jungle options. I feel like for Dplus, you could definitely ban away, you know, Rakan, Nautilus, Nico, I think are all good bans. You could also look towards the mid, you know, the Cassiopeia, I guess. Even like the Annie would be a decent one that comes through, that point-and-click CC, a lot of value. They take that one off the cards.
Yep, I think it's a decent idea. I think Rakan is looking pretty decent as well.
I think it may be one of those where there's still enough engage options that it's hard to ban them all out, so maybe there's one you're really concerned about you take away. Yep. I think the Annie ban's definitely a good one. Again, that point-and-click CC, I think just a lot of value here. The Zed jungle ban coming through. I mean, I think Zed, honestly, this is a spot where you could pick it, because into Trundle, it's pretty hard to play. Like, Trundle just, the way you function, chomping people, dueling them, putting the pillar down, Zed kind of ignores all of that.
Yeah, doesn't really care.
Yeah, so if we were going to see it played, and also the setup from the lanes is pretty good with the Ryze and the Ambessa, I thought maybe we could have seen like a Lulu come in, but as we've seen that paired up a decent amount with the, we do see that Nautilus come through, so targeting some of that point-and-click CC, it does mean that the Nico and the Rakan are still options there for Kellen.
I do feel like Nico could be very valuable, as there's not a lot of range represented here on DK. Possible death ball composition to come in that Nico really does like to play into. We'll see what Diablo wants to lock away here, though, as the Ahri going to be looked at.
Wanting to save support here. I guess they already know the mid matchup, and Vikla just feeling confident with this Ahri pick. A little concerned though. I feel like this composition obviously wants to dive forwards, but I think there's so much AoE and cleave already from Dplus. Very Blender vibes, I feel like, coming out with what they're going to do. And now Dplus looking to potentially deny that Nico.
Yep.
And if you land a big Pop Blossom onto BNK FEARX, you're just setting up for a slam dunk.
Well, there it is, going to be locked in here for Beryl. What is going to be Lucid's pick, though? Because this jungle pool is, I mean, empty at this point in time. There are fish, splashing about in the mud,
Yeah.
That's what it kind of feels like. But still, I mean, there are a lot of champions in this video game. So let's see what Beryl is going to be locking away for Lucid here. As time is ticking, Lee Sin, a consideration here, and will be locked in. We see so many considering this when the Trundle is locked in. It's one of the first times that we've actually seen the matchup locked away. See whether it works. And of course, Lee Sin can be pretty hit or miss.
Yeah, I think with how fights are going to play out, with the fact that they kind of have to charge at you, you have that kick for a bit of disengage, you have some early pressure, you have the setup from the Ryze, and also the Trundle, you do have the ability to outplay things like the Pillar. We just get the Rel coming in, so not the Rakan. Obviously does provide that strong engage potential. I feel like BNK FEARX's comp is pretty straightforward, pretty almost vanilla. It's just we go forwards, we go aggressive.
Yep.
I'm a little concerned though into Dplus. There's so much DPS, there's so much AoE, there's so much cleave. I feel like if BNK FEARX misstep at any point, they're really going to be in trouble. The bot lane matchup's rough. I feel like the mid lane matchup, Ryze is going to have a good time and then be able to use that priority gets to impact the rest of the map. The top lane matchup is good though, so Clear, it might be on his back to have some impact in these early fights. We've seen Renekton take over games before. It might be on him again.
Well, as you can see, the Teeny Ping vibes are well and truly overtaking DK right now today. And you saw Bengi Ping walking away there, pretty happy with how this draft has worked out. And if you guys are sitting at home saying, man, what I want on my Friday is just have 3 games between BNK and DK, I think that with the draft that they put together, there is a chance that it could happen. But it might just be that BNK are better. It might just be that they can play this comp out, find some angles. Diablo gets ahead. This could be almost impossible for DK to play out. Let's get another Rift here for game number 2. All right, here we are, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see whether DK can bring us the distance. Showmaker's worst nightmare, a 3-game series. The man obsessed with going home early. But do you know what we're not going to get?
What?
Chemtech Soul. Thanks, Orcs.
Yeah.
Paying attention earlier on, making sure that he gets the first dragon out of the way. And that is a Kenta Drake. That's beautiful.
You
Beautiful
know,
to see.
60% of the time, I'm paying attention all the time.
Yep. Yep. Yeah. Don't want to say the name of that cologne on broadcast. Just doesn't feel right.
No, I'm
just not going
don't
to.
think you need to.
The Panther part can say that bit.
Yeah.
You guys will just have to remember the start. Let's go with that. As Viklet wandering back to lane here. As Showmaker looking like a bit of a librarian. Not a huge fan of that skin.
You know what?
Always
I feel
a
like
Pirate Rise guy myself.
you look at the minimap.
Oh, this is Wadid's favorite skin, by the way. The one he insta-bought.
Oh, yeah, of course. I want to say, you look at the minimap and you see Rise in the bot lane.
Yeah.
Any other player, you'd be like, well, of course it's Nico. But when it's Beryl, you're like,
It's actually a really good point.
Yeah.
Beryl playing Nico really does add an extra layer, doesn't it?
It's like, would he just play Rise support?
Yeah, it's a bit weird.
I could believe it. No, it is just Nico. But,
do you remember that Overwatch character, the one with the orbs that rotates around them? And yeah, that one.
Yeah.
That like character has been coming up in so many things recently.
Yeah.
It's in the new what was it? The new Superman movie?
Oh yeah.
Mr. Fantastic is basically
You mean Mr.
just,
Terrific?
Sorry, yeah, whichever one. I recently watched Fantastic Four as well.
Okay,
so
okay.
It's all just like they all mix together. Anyway,
Mr. Fantastic's Pedro Pascal, but stretchy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was very stretchy.
Yeah.
I was told that was CGI, and Pedro Pascal is not actually able to do that.
Oh!
Which I was disappointed in.
That's... Oh.
I know. I'm sorry to ruin everyone's immersion there.
That really... Yeah, that threw me off. I thought it was like a Stretch Armstrong situation.
Yeah, I know. That's what I thought too. I was like, he's real.
Couldn't they have gotten... I mean, I love Pedro Pascal, and he's in a lot of things, but couldn't they have gotten someone who could stretch like that?
Yeah, they should have actually gotten Stretch Armstrong. I think I've got mine back at home.
you should have mentioned it. You
Ugh.
them up.
It's pretty disappointing. They could have got Zach. Zach's right here.
True.
In Runeterra, why didn't they just give him a call?
Zach's not busy. No one's picking him.
Exactly.
Oh, man.
I think he might be being... I think they're doing reruns in Dragon Ball Z, so he's margin booing.
Oh.
At the moment.
Because
of that chroma. As we got a little bit of a gank here, Showmaker is just going to, get slowed down momentarily.
He's just
but it's otherwise just
phasing.
Phasing the Russian. Yeah, he's fine. Heading to Moscow. All right, Chiu up in this top side, dealing with a Rel that's turned up.
Yeah, it's a good swap, I would say, for the bot lane of BNK FEARX to kind of get that bot lane out of the bad situation. But honestly, Shiu has been having a pretty good time in the top matchup and is pretty sizably ahead in CS compared to Clear already, which isn't really how you want that matchup to be going. Yeah,
Shiu actually just doing the Shiu Ambessa type thing. He is just really good at this champion.
I just feel like we have players where there's just specific champions where it's like they're exceptions. You know, no matter how nerfed or weak the champion is, it doesn't really matter. Keen Sante, Shiu Ambessa.
Showmaker gets the phase rush. There's the flash forward! Oh! And the Q's enough! Takes down the Ari. I think that was a caster minion hit.
What specifically was it? Was it Scorch, maybe?
Maybe. It was definitely a delay after the auto. I thought that Showmaker was going to be walking away looking silly, but in the end, it was almost like a gimme, you know? Like in golf. It was Scorch.
Oh, confirmed Scorch. I mean, that's even more impressive because he had it calculated
somewhere LS is like, that doesn't mean Scorch is good. Although I think he changed his mind on Scorch. That was a very long time ago that he absolutely hated it.
You know, things change, right?
Yeah.
You know, opinions might change because the game changes.
It does. It does. Now there's a whole lot more Zenyatas in the world.
Yeah,
that's what changed.
Wishes the game would change quickly so he wouldn't have to be in this situation.
Can we change games? Please let me change games. I want to instantly teleport to somewhere else. As a plate is going to be taken here. The rail comes on over though, so she behind this turret is not exactly safe. As Clear also just not able to really farm and aiming, collecting plate money, and just being a happy Yunara.
Yeah, this is a weird situation because it started off looking really dire for the Renekton. But in the end, I mean, Devil's just free farming. I mean, Clear isn't farming, but he's soaking XP. This is like a 4-man bot.
Yeah. And there's an extra fight going on elsewhere as well, as she is just fighting Kellen off to the side. Diablo's by himself in the top lane.
Yeah.
And that's the big thing, is that DK doesn't have anyone in the top lane.
Look, I know junglers have a tendency to pretend top lane doesn't exist, but this is a bit much.
Yeah, that doesn't mean it actually doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Still, a Drake is going to be a big deal, as Raptor also moving on down there is actually going to stop it, as the Rift Scuttle are going to be taken. Raptor moving on in.
I mean, the problem is now,
eating this.
Eventually they had to remember that top lane exists because the wave is pushing out.
Yeah.
So now they want to do Dragon, but they also have to respond to the fact that top lane is real.
But BNK do have someone in the top lane also. So there's that. Aiming will be able to get this cannon as well.
But I think they kind of have to give up all that pressure. And also, Clear is now up in terms of farm and XP compared to the Ambassador. We are going to see that replay.
Yeah, let's have a look at this again.
He's so
Must have
low
been
mana as
pretty
well.
perfect scorch damage. Oh, man. Honk. Oh, and the emote timing, just gorgeous. As of course, that's automatically what comes up, but it's the perfect emote for the situation.
So clutch. And the fact he just got enough mana for Q going into that play.
Yeah.
Dplus definitely feeling a little rough about that one, being on the receiving end. Ari was 6 HP, and the Scorch finished it off.
That's how you make Scorch relevant. It's that extra 6. Sometimes it's make or break.
Yeah.
It's all right. DK now with about 1,000 gold in the lead, based on the early laning phase. And it's interesting because I was like I was looking down, I was seeing inexperience lead clear, things like that, but the denial of the money is what's really helped DK out. Not to mention the fact that Lucid has been able to steal away a bunch of camps as well, so Raptor is a little bit further behind, at least in doing work.
It's just one of these things where we kind of had that swap come through when both the AD carry and top were ahead for Dplus, and now Clay has a full level lead in the top matchup. And this Kai'Sa is still a bit down in terms of gold, but considering how bad the lane matchup is, I think he's doing okay. So really, I'm tracking this one active. I said it might just be a Clay has to carry scenario. I want to see what this Croc can do when we get to the fights.
Well, you're going to connect there as Beryl. Walking on back towards his top side. The grubs on the mines of BNK. Shield and Clear fighting aggressively here. There's the crash down as Lucid gets the kickback. Special delivery as Aiming grabs his first kill of the game. And BNK, I don't think they're contesting this now.
Yeah, well, firstly, the Croc wasn't there. But also, that really did not go how BNK FEARX wanted. And Lucid just slides in with a slick kick, delivers a kill to his AD carry. And he won the Gold King this week, well last week, but might be being set up for it again.
Yeah.
Back of this one.
He looks like he's surfing the tempo vibes though right now. Just cruising as he picks up that kill. Special delivery there. And Aiming getting all of that money. Our Gold King very happy about that. He'll augment that with some plates as well.
I don't think he even needs it though.
Oh dear. Okay, in, then out again. Shiu may just be dead, but Showmaker, looking to see what he can do, as Clear did have to move out of the ult because I think that was going to spell his death anyway. Still Clear is going to survive. Dominus now on cooldown momentarily. That is a lot invested from DK, and I think you're pretty happy as BNK to just get out utilizing that flash, even if DK didn't need to use any.
Yeah, a little scary, that Crocodile is, but to be fair, ult flash used, he gets out, but I feel like it's going to be really important to get him in to these fights. This was a little bit unfortunate because the charm was thrown out and misses before the Rel CC. If you wait for the Rel CC, you can layer it a lot easier, but also Kai'Sa is so far away, wasn't even part of the fight. I feel like it was a really bad setup for BNK FEARX, and Lucid was just so slick with his execution in comparison.
Yeah, really beautifully done.
But it's like, if you know your Rel is going to go for the flash and commit the Q, charm after that.
Yeah.
Don't both bank on hitting your skill shots. I feel like the flash and the Q with the Rel is so much easier to hit than just throwing a charm out. Oh,
it's just stealing it away. That's very frustrating. Still has kick if they do want to disengage. Gets the kick flash though, delivers it over to Showmaker. One more auto would have been enough, but there's the Yunara picking up the kill. The snare connects onto Diablo, has to cleanse and flash. Now Kellen is going in. There are 4 people here, but now the Croc is going to show up. And Lucid dashes on over, but he's so slippery, and BNK, they're just dizzy.
They're not handling this well. Look at them huddled under the tower for warmth, trying to get out of this situation.
Oh no!
Oh, this is so sad. This is perfect for Nico as well.
If only they still had kick. That's like a 4-man knockup.
Yeah.
Oh, they're bobbing for apples. They're just bobbing for apples right now.
Okay, they got one out. They got one safe. Raptor's coming over.
Oh, dear. Well, Raptor is going to come on through. There is a Beryl just dead. That was the real one. I was assuming that was definitely a clone because he was just doing nothing, but I think he just knew he was dead.
Yeah, but in the meantime, this was just Shibu pushing in the top lane, getting plates for free, getting farm for free.
I mean, I think what tells the best part of the story is the fact that the gold lead is only extended from that play, even though Beryl goes down, even though it looks a little bit weird. It is just DK getting everything, as it's another plate in mid as well. 3 grubs for DK being utilized so well.
The thing that really stood out for me in this play
was that grump steal, right?
Well, not just that, but so obviously Raptor gets basically eliminated, then Diablo unfortunately also starts to get punished here. But it's when Vikla comes in. Look at Vikla's mana bar after he like ults and then charms. He just has nothing. It's fumes. So like, how is this fight supposed to continue from here? There was just never any angle in. So he like TP'd in to make the play. And it just kind of felt like they were just responding. Like Dplus took the Gromp. That was what started this all off. And it felt like everything after that was like BNK FEARX. It's like, we can't let them just take the Gromp. Yes, you can. It's a Gromp. Yeah. It's not that deep. Guys, just let the Gromp go. And they lost so much more because they couldn't let the Gromp go.
Well, now they might be letting the Ambessa go, as the flash does have to be used there by Shu. Aiming, in the meantime, is playing PvE League of Legends. This is the single target version, the single player version that we've been asking for. You know, where's my League of Legends campaign? You know, we just don't have it. And so that's what Aiming's playing right now. That's the unreleased version there, spoilers. And he is now just going to go back, spend a whole bunch of money. He's got a Blade of the Ruin King, so that's not normally, isn't it normally Kraken that we go first?
We've been seeing some Blade of the Ruin King. Okay. We also had...
It's always hard when it's aiming, you know, to know whether this is like weird. Like, I know she does a lot of on-hit, so it's fine.
I can't remember who in the
Kraken Rune
build Blade. We did have a game where it went pretty well, and also Pays built it in the LPL and went like 8-0, so... This has definitely been one of the builds.
It must have been the Blade of the Ruin King. It's not the fact that Pays was playing.
Well, that's two factors. But the 3 builds have either been... Oh, seen a fight start.
Yeah, he doesn't have flash, guys. He is very dead.
Yeah, the 3 start names has been like Yuntal, Kraken, or Blade have kind of been the popular 3.
All right.
And yeah, Blade we've definitely seen it before in the LCK. I can't specifically remember who, but it was a win as well and did pop off, so...
I like it. Probably going to be Runon's next.
Yeah.
Does do a lot of work. So Lucid turning up towards his top side. Ooh, Beryl very close to being able to stop that back. And Showmaker now, first item complete. Lord of Ages going to begin stacking here at 14 minutes.
That's cheeky. There's something about supports and stopping recalls where it's like a mini game to them.
Yep.
You know, and obviously don't get me wrong, it's effective and you should be doing it. But it's like, some of them, it's like a compulsion obsession. When they walk on a tower, take 7 tower hits and ignite them.
Yep.
And it's like...
And then flash away.
And die for it. But it's like, you know...
But now we've got the tempo, guys!
Exactly. I mean, this was just very easy pickup there. Show them the power. You know, again, this composition from BNK FEARX, you see a target, you engage on the target, you try and kill a target. They do have that ability to do that, but... I feel like a lot of these fights, they haven't really been able to incorporate the Renekton, and he's the only one with a lead right now.
And even then, it's pretty small.
Yeah.
As we can see. This next Dragon going to be going over to DK. Looks like there's not going to be too much of a contest, especially with Showmaker moving up. And so, Hextech, just one of them going on over. I feel a Cloud Silver. It's got to be, right? Oh, Ocean, not the best.
It was raining today quite heavily.
It was. Although it was not forecast.
Yes.
Which you mentioned earlier on.
Which...
I always do like a day where you have your bird's umbrella.
Yeah, and I didn't have it today.
You don't have it today.
Because it wasn't forecast, so I didn't think to bring it.
Well, Chu didn't think to bring his flash to this little play, so he instead decides to outplay it, gets a flash out from Kellen, and if he hadn't have flashed, he was dead. Publicly executed, even though Shiu was alone.
Guys, this champ, when he has it, just does more than other people. I'm convinced.
Player mastery is a thing, guys, as Lucid is just going to kick Diablo to his death. Showmaker collects that one. just realm warps his way underneath this turret. That gets taken down as Fairclaw. That is not where you want to be teleporting to, my friend. And that is a killing spree for the Yunara. Aiming is just being delivered money.
Yep, I mean, this is just domination. Last game, it felt like there was a lot of mess in the mid game. BNK FEARX eventually got control and managed to pull ahead, managed to get to a finish. This game feels as controlled as a bat to the face.
Yep.
And Dplus are just dominating.
They are very good at bat to the face control, though. That is their bread and butter.
Absolutely. They're just demolishing them in every meaningful way. And BNK FEARX, I mean, they are taking the bat. I will say that.
They are. Yeah. Exhaust going to be employed here onto Beryl. There is a blast cone, though. That delivers a crocodile towards the Nico. Doesn't land the snare, but he just gets himself out. No flash required. Did have to heal. There are bounties up. Like, this game is out of control. These salmon decided instead, why don't we make our goal downstream instead of upstream?
So much easier.
Yeah, a better call. And of course, that was a reference to drafting champions that actually have a laning phase for your team and things like that. That, I believe, has been pretty helpful here. And I'm just looking at this Yunara with 2 items now completed. Aiming is just going to be problematic. The ultimate back up and available now, so if they ever want a team fight again, all of those abilities going to be feeling pretty good to press. I also just don't like Ahri anymore.
Yeah.
I know the skin is really cool, that sort of stuff. This like champion, Ahri, I just don't think she does enough.
Yeah, and I don't really like her here. Like, if you're gonna pick Ahri, I want it to be like
Viego comps.
Yeah, and even then, I don't really like Viego either, but it's like deep fearless. I can see the angle for it, but I don't like it here because you're playing Ahri into like Rise, where a lot of the, like, you're just gonna get, there's a lot of CC, you just lock you up and explode you, and that's kind of what we've seen happen in this game. Lucid has a 2-level lead as well
over Raptors. He just decides to go in. Clear is hanging about, but not gonna be able to help. Showmaker lying in wait, and Aiming's like, oh, a turret? A turret to eat?
Oh yeah, he's ready.
Yep, Rift Arrow going to come on through here as Raptor is thinking about going for something. Pillar. Oh, nice pillar. That is going to block.
That did deny Aiming money, so you angered him.
Yes. See whether they decide to kill Kellen for it. They do not. Minute and a half on both Arakan and this next Drake. That could be a big deal. Of course, everything on the bottom side of the map in this game. As Aiming now looking for a reset. See how close he is to item number 3. Maybe just a BF sword on the back. That'll feel very nice. As DK just cruising now. That's what it feels like. There it is, that BF sword in the back pocket.
Yep. Archangels, sorry, Saras, full Saras contingent for Showmaker. So he's really strong.
He's also hands off keyboard, having a little bit of a stretch in his chair.
Yeah, he's chilling. He's in a great spot here.
This is definitely not game 1.
No.
You know, game 1 was just chaos. Game 1 was anxiety. Game 1 was difficult to follow, and the tempo vibes are all over the place. This is what happens when the tempo vibes are just sitting there. Same BPM the whole time. And nice little charm. A little bit of damage there on Shu, but he's able to back away pretty comfortably. Everyone else moving on up towards that top side of the map. As you can see, it's only clear here on this bottom side as Beryl looking for the angle, doesn't get the snare. As the slow does come through from Aiming, but otherwise not too much more. And BNK, some bounty money to be collected here on this top side. Their first turret of the game. And in fact, the only thing outside of those 2 kills that they've been able to get is that 1 Chemtech Dragon. So this is meaningful, increasing their objective take by double.
They got something, you know, it's a small consolation prize. But what will they lose for it? Because they lose that bot lane tier 2.
In a tier 2.
Yeah, probably going to lose that too, unless they're looking to make a play.
Yeah, Raptor coming on over, Aiming in melee range with a Trundle doesn't feel... Oh, never mind, it feels fantastic. Lucid now coming on over, there's the flash forward, Pop Blossom collects the 2 of them as Aiming now free hitting! And He gets dove on top of. That's Vikla locking down that kill, and Beryl is dead at the same time. Clear likely to be taken down, and now Lucid has to flash, and Showmaker needs to get this damage down as she with the public execution, but it's not where it wants to be, and Showmaker just dead on the back end of the fight. Lucid now having to run away, and BNK, there is so much to get. They've got bounty gold, there's an Otacon available. They may have just found their way back into this game. There's the flash charm, and down goes Lucid. Nothing he can do about it. That is a gorgeous little leash into this Otacon play.
What a gold swing in favor of BNK FEARX. Should be able to get this and the dragon off the back of it. A huge misplay by the bot lane of Dplus, an overstep that's punished. And this is what this composition does best. You engage, you go forward, you see target, you kill target, and boy did they see targets. Should be able to pick this up as well.
Yeah, Beryl not going to be able to steal that one away, as Raptor will be able to secure the first Ocean Dragon of the game. Showmaker coming in, trying to make the best of a bad situation, but I think it's just going to remain a bad situation. Never mind, we are realm warping to try and get on top of Diablo. Still, the turret does go down. DK trying to move this needle back once again in their direction, but it was cresting a 6,000 gold lead. That has now been cut in half.
Just a huge overstep for the turret. This is just overconfidence. Aiming lost a lot of health here, and then the engage comes through. And the follow-up here from the Kai'Sa as well. This is why the comp works. The Rel Kai'Sa able to shut down that carry. And it's still scary. You saw how Showmaker is able to deal with the Renekton despite everything because of how far ahead Dplus were.
Yeah.
But then ends up getting finished off here by the Leandri's burn. And that gives a reset over to Vikla. They're able to get this chase down. The Charm Flash comes through. The follow-up's there. The momentum achieved by the Ahri in this fight. And you know, this pick is very feast or famine. If you start to get those kills in a fight, you're going to feel much better at the Ahri than if you just don't get any kills. And now they're still behind, right? They're still in the deficit, but I think the big thing is the XP swing as well. Obviously, gold super significant, but getting the Otacon and getting all those kills right now evened up a lot. You even see, like, Clear a full level up on Shiwu.
He was already feeling pretty good. Hasn't quite got a gold lead, but I don't think that matters too much. Wanting to race towards that level 16 where he can really be a menace.
You look at the 80 carries as well. Devil's nearly got as much XP as aiming, despite being down almost 40 CS.
Yeah, it's nuts. So I guess he's been there when the minions are dying.
No, the XP
or maybe
from Otacon and the kills have just rebounded him back and got him into this. So big deficit accounted for thanks to that. And it was a game that honestly, I was like, okay, we're going to game 3.
I was ready to sign it as well. The tempo vibes in a series like this can be a fickle thing.
Oh.
And we have to go back to our points of the match. It's at a clash of the tempo vibes. Maybe the tempo vibes have just elected to not really be here. Maybe this is true chaos reigning on the Rift right now. No tempo vibes to really let us work out who's going to be winning as Clear. Taking down lower and lower. Dash Cannon not really going to be helping Beryl.
I feel like in my bat to the face analogy earlier, I feel like the response from BNK FEARX was just to headbutt the bat so hard it rebounded.
Yes, into the head of DK.
Yes, I think that's what we were met with. Oh, Clear?
Not sure what we're doing here. He gets rune prisoned and is now very, very low. Has to use the ulti. Pop Blossom collects too. They need to protect the president though. It's aiming. Oh, public execution! Catches Kellen! This is what this comp does. Just isolates a target, destroys them. And DK back on the horse. Well, killed the horse. Killed the pants. Killed the pants.
Kill your pants.
Yeah.
It's important to clarify. A little bit of a strange approach there. Clear kind of just got chunked out immediately, and the engage wasn't too convincing there. Kellen connecting onto only really Beryl there, not really doing the work. And big takeaway here, Diablo lost his flash on the back of that play, so that's something not going to be available for the Baron fight, potentially the Dragon fight coming up soon. Is a bit of a hit. And it shows that despite a huge comeback, despite a huge turnaround, considering the state of the game previously, Dplus still very threatening. Yeah, Clear kind of just walks up here, and his team are in position to eventually follow up, but he loses so much health initially that ult from Kellen just doesn't really connect.
And they were also they were walking into darkness as well.
I'm not
there was
gonna lie.
control vision there for DK that whole time.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, the fact they only lost one, kind of a miracle.
Yeah. Still, that summoner being down on Diablo does make things difficult to play out.
Oh, big as well. Showmaker just got the Roa level up.
Yeah.
Nearly 16. That's such a big spike. before the rise.
Oh, it needs one more wave. One more cannon would do it.
Yeah, getting that extra damage on the overcharge. It does just mean that he will just annihilate anyone who he gets really the opportunity to burst. So
yeah, they have 2 machine guns in this game.
I think that's why it's so hard. Like the engage has to be so decisive, and you really just have to connect onto Showmaker or aiming, explode them, and then immediately start moving on to the next one. There can't be really any hesitation.
Well, Hugh might be in a little bit of trouble. Does have to flash as Clear is coming in. They had no idea, and just pop goes the Ambassador. Flash Magnustorm comes through as the exhaust is down onto aiming, but it's a fantastic re-engage. Barrel's still likely to fall down, though, and there is the Realm Warp to get them to safety. Still 2 for 1. It is great for BNK. They're running straight to this Baron.
Big takeaways. Diablo saved his ult there, didn't go in. Still has it for this following fight. But it's still Showmaker and aiming alive who are very threatening. It's a 3v4. I think they still go for the contest. Dplus on an angle, but he's been spotted.
Yep, they spot him out. Over Deception doesn't quite go in here as Lucid. Very scary. There's the flash out of the way of the charm. And Showmaker trying to come on through. There is Clear diving on top of aiming. The pillar goes down. It's beautifully placed. But still, Showmaker is so dangerous. Diablo, Supercharger comes through, and Showmaker is just being kited and destroyed. They get the Baron and they win the fight.
So well played by BNK FEARX. They turn up and have such good target selection. Those big carries, those machine guns, that was such a concern they're able to deal with in here. This is just a great angle. The top lane is going for these risky flanks, but Clear outflanks the flanker, finds the slips in, gets the stun, he's just deleted. And then here the engage comes in onto aiming, but they don't overcommit. You know, Diablo could have ulted in, could have secured that kill onto Barrel there, but holds it. You know, makes a decision, says this is fine, and now has it for this scenario, is very patient. When they move forward, even holds it here, eventually moves in to secure the kill on the aiming, and then even though he gets chunked down, they finish off Lucid, he kites away, the team just deal with Showmaker. This team feels so much more controlled than we've ever seen them be.
Yeah, this is a great look for BNK. As Diablo at Supercharger just denying Showmaker anything in that fight. As, yeah, we're feeling pretty good about how this one's going. Although Ryu, not counting any eggs, gives them a little bit of a round of applause. But I think he knows it ain't ever over till it's over.
And they actually have a gold lead now.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Soul Point coming on in as well. That's a 4.5k Rebel Baron power play. That is high value. And that's only going to extend. It's still got a minute 20 left on that clock. As, yeah, DK, they had this game in the bag. Not anymore. This was going to be 3 games. That would have been so far.
Yeah.
Don't get it. Still, not over till it's over. The base hasn't been destroyed yet. But we were talking about things at the beginning of this game, and one of those things was Diablo, if he gets too far ahead, could become a problem. Well, he's not too far ahead, but he is 5-1-5 on a 4-item Kai'Sa, who can just decide to annihilate a target.
Yeah, and now he has his Zhonya's as well. You can play so much more liberally. You know, he's been very patient, but you can just ult in, and the Zhonya's is so hard to deal with because you know, they have to deal with you after the Zhonya's, but you can't just stand there and wait for him to come out when the rest of the team is rushing you. But if you're not in position to respond when he comes out, you're just going to die to him afterwards. So he's now a massive threat, ahead of the curve compared to aiming and Showmaker. Showmaker trying to finish this Rabadon, which would be a massive spike, but until he gets it, is a bit of a trough.
Yeah. Well, Realm Warp is just going to deliver some minions to this inhibitor turret.
Wait a second. Backdoor, guys. You can't. You have Baron just... There's no way this can't happen again. We've had too many of these.
Well, I mean, he's likely he can get this turret if he sticks around, and there it is. So Showmaker just takes an inhibitor turret.
Like, we've seen a lot of stuff for Nexus trade.
Yeah.
I have never seen you can just anything for Nexus never goes well.
No.
Guys, don't give up your Nexus. It's never a good play.
That is often, yeah, I mean, I think that it's a risky call to say that, Orcs. I understand that took a lot of courage.
I'm yet to see it work out.
Yeah,
you
but
know?
neither have I. Look, I'm
Really?
going to be honest with you, yeah.
You've been casting the LCK a long time, so I
know
assume that maybe at one point in your career you've seen...
Not ever.
Oh, wow.
One time. If you trade your Nexus for something, you're going to lose the game.
Oh.
That's how it works.
That's crazy.
We've seen so many things, you know? Elders, Barons, Souls, all sorts.
That's
so
interesting.
Let's see whether BNK do decide to opt in for that trade.
I feel like we're learning a lot today.
Yeah, it's good. I'm learning a lot about identifying tempo vibes and the fact that it can be difficult in some of these games. It has become a lot more difficult.
Do you think it's easier to identify tempo vibes in Legend or Rise Group?
Legendary.
Yeah.
I'm going to say that.
Yeah, I think that's very safe to say.
Yeah. And it differs game to game. The Gen G T1 series was fantastic because it was very clearly in favor of one team all 3 games.
Yeah.
And it didn't matter which one. I think that was the same no matter whether you're looking at the first time they met in the first round robin or whether it was the second time. That's all right. DK have managed to stabilize the game just a little bit. But now they have to play Honest League of Legends. They're down 3,000 gold. They have to deny Soul. That's coming up in a minute 20. Baron is going to be coming up at exactly the same time. There's a GA on this Crocodile. And I don't know.
Did get some big spikes though. Rabadons for Showmaker and the LDR for aiming. These carries are doing damage, but it's very conditional on the fact that they can survive to do that damage because they're pretty glass cannon. Rise is bulky, but he hasn't got any true defensive items. Aiming. Oh, only has a Hex Ring to wrap that damage.
What do we, okay, well, Vickler is going to dive forward, doesn't find the charm as Lucer trying to get out of there. He's so low. Killer Instinct comes down and they manage to take him. There's the 5-man Pop Blossom, but followed up with an absolutely beautiful Magnet Storm. And BNK are just saying, nah, it's not about the objectives. We heard from Orcs that you're supposed to kill Nexuses, and that's exactly what they're going to do. Or is it Nexi? They're going to kill some Nexi. This is the second one. And it's a 2-0. Wolf knew, the only one of us that knew, and now has another customer for his pizza, which I think you should just buy it anyway because it's delicious. I think I've still got one in my freezer. But BNK, a glorious week for them. 2-0 now over DK.